Hello friends, welcome to Swapnil's IS. Hope you all are doing well. Till now, we have covered up to chapter 9 of the Economic Survey 2023. The links to all those videos are in the description. In this video, we will be covering chapters 10, 11 and 12 of the Economic Survey so as to conclude it. Let's get started. The COVID-19 pandemic hurt most sectors of the economy, with the effect particularly profound for contact-intensive services like tourism, retail trade, hotel, entertainment, and recreation. On the other hand, non-contact services such as information, communication, financial, professional, and business services remained resilient. The service sector witnessed a swift rebound in FY22, growing year on year at 8.4% compared to a contraction of 7.8% in the previous financial year. The growth momentum has continued in FY23 as well. As per the first advanced estimates, gross value added GVA in the services sector is estimated to grow at 9.1% in FY23, driven by 13.7% growth in contact intensive services sector. India is a significant player in services trade, being among the top 10 services exporter countries in 2021. Services exports registered growth of 27.7% during April to December 2022 as compared to 20.4% in the corresponding period last year. However, some headwinds may be observed in the coming months because of the slowing growth in some of India's major trading partners. On the contrary, India's services exports may improve as runaway inflation in advanced economies drives up wages and makes local sourcing expensive, opening up avenues for outsourcing to low-wage countries including India. Among services exports, software exports have remained relatively resilient during the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as amid current geopolitical uncertainties, driven by higher demand for digital support, cloud services, and infrastructure modernization catering to new challenges. The World Investment Report of 2022 places India as the seventh largest recipient of FDI in the year 2021. In FY22, India received the highest ever FDI inflows of $84.8 billion, including $7.1 billion FDI equity inflows in the services sector. To facilitate investment, the various measures taken by the government are launch of the National Single Window System, a one-stop solution for approvals and clearances needed by investors, entrepreneurs, and businesses. The government has permitted 100% foreign participation in telecommunication services, including all services and infrastructure providers through the automatic route. The FDI ceiling in insurance companies was also raised from 49 to 74% under automatic route. Government has allowed 20% foreign investment in Life Insurance Corporation (LIC) under the automatic route. Neobanks are new age banks without any physical location and present entirely online. Some examples of neobanks operating in India are Frio, Jupiter, InstantPay. The growth of these institutions is spurred by the need for on-demand and easy-to-access financial services by young and increasingly digitally savvy demography. Neobanks have eased availability and provided access to financial services by MSMEs and underbanked customers and areas. India's services sector growth, which was highly volatile and fragile in the last two financial years, has shown resilience in FY23 driven by release of pent-up demand, ease of mobility restrictions, near universal vaccination coverage, and preemptive government interventions. Here we complete the chapter 10. Now let's begin with chapter 11. Post COVID-19 induced disruptions, global trade prospects have improved in FY22. Global trade exhibited resilience in the first half of 2022, notwithstanding the headwinds from the Russia-Ukraine conflict. The global trade volume grew by 4.8% in H1 2022, on top of an impressive recovery of 9.7% in 2021. However, the global trade outlook turned grimmer in the second half H2 of 2022 on the back of a confluence of adverse factors, including the increasing likelihood of a recession in the major economies and the tapering demand for consumer durables, aggressive monetary policy tightening by several central banks, disorderly financial conditions, continued supply chain disruptions, and elevated freight charges. As regards the future trade projections, according to the WTO, world trade is expected to lose momentum in H2 2022 and remain subdued in 2023. India has been a net importer in merchandise and merchandise plus services categories, with its imports being more than its exports. However, for trade in services, India is a net exporter. The USA remained the top export destination in April to November 2022, followed by UAE and the Netherlands. The Netherlands has displaced China from the third spot as India's exporting partner. India has thus diversified its export destinations over time. As regards to imports, the share of China declined to 13.8% during April to November 2022 from 15.5% a year ago. Similarly, the share of the USA declined to 6.9% in April-November 2022 from 7.2% a year ago. India's external sector has been facing considerable global headwinds reflecting the geopolitical developments. India's current account balance recorded a deficit of $36.4 billion, which is 4.4% of India's GDP in second quarter of FY23, in contrast to a deficit of $9.7 billion, which was 1.3% of GDP during the corresponding period of the previous year. The widening of the current account deficit in the second quarter of FY23 was mainly on account of a higher merchandise trade deficit and an increase in net investment income outgo. In economics, invisibles refers to international transactions that do not involve sending or receiving of tangible goods. Example, trade in services. Net services exports and remittances contributed to the surplus on the invisible account, which cushioned the merchandise trade deficit. Remittances are the second largest major source of external financing after service export, which contribute to narrowing the current account deficit and has always been a stable constituent of the balance of payment. India has the largest emigrant population and is the top remittance recipient country, with remittances anticipated to have reached a milestone of $100 billion in 2022. The components of capital account are net foreign investment, net loans, net banking capital, net other capital. Foreign investment consisting of foreign direct investment FDI and foreign portfolio investment FPI is the largest component of the capital account. Repercussions of the Russia-Ukraine conflict and aggressive monetary policy tightening by the US Fed escalated global financial market volatility, leading to net outflow by FPIs. Overall, FPIs recorded a net outflow of $2.5 billion during April to December 2022. Slowing global demand is weighing on India's merchandise exports, product basket, and destination diversification, which India is taking through free trade agreements, would be useful to enhance Indian exports. Given the benefits of lower average age of working population along with the economies of scale, India has the potential to survive and win in the competition presented by some South Asian countries such as Vietnam and Bangladesh. Increase in infrastructure investment provides a critical push to the potential growth of the economy. The government in recent years provided an increased impetus for infrastructure development and investment through the enhancement of capital expenditure. The outlay or the target for capital expenditure in 2022-23 budget estimate was increased sharply by 35.4% from rupees 5.5 lakh crore in the previous year, that is 2021-22, to rupees 7.5 lakh crore, of which approximately 67% has been spent from April to December 2022. As physical infrastructure requires continuous support over its long gestation period, the government has also set up National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development as development financial institution to set in motion a virtuous investment cycle. An institutional mechanism to fast-track investments has been put in place in the form of Project Development Cells (PDCs) in all concerned ministries and departments of Government of India. The total installed power capacity of utilities and captive power was 482.2 gigawatt on 31st March 2022, up by 4.7% as compared to the previous year. Thermal sources of energy make up the largest, that is 59.1% share of total installed capacity in utilities, followed by renewable energy sources with 27.5% and hydro with 11.7%. Between FY22 and FY21, the maximum rise in electricity generation was recorded in renewable energy resources. There has been a gradual transition in India's energy sector from the conventional sources to the non-fossil fuel sources. The chapter brings forth the developments in digital infrastructure of the country by citing various initiatives and schemes of the government, such as penetration of telecommunication system into the nooks and corners of the country, especially the hitherto untouched lands such as left-wing extremism affected areas. Increase in the number of private commercial radio stations or FM radio and community radio stations CRS. Unified mobile application for new age governance Umang, which enables citizens to access e-government services. Open Network for Digital Commerce ONDC, where the buyer and seller can use the same platform or application for transactions. The Open Credit Enablement Network OCEN, that is being hailed as a major shift in how lending and borrowing will be conducted in the future. Friends, here we conclude the Economic Survey 2023. Hope you liked the videos covering it. I am sure they will be of help in your preparation. We will continue to upload videos on other relevant and vital topics. Do feel free to write to us or comment on the videos. Also, subscribe to the channel to get notifications about the upcoming videos. Keep studying. Thank you.